So we are here to explain everybody a little bit more about the circular modularity concept. We have something more in mind. We are developing further products where actually we can use or reuse or initially use those elements.
What we do here is we break down the product life onto the components level. So in the end, it doesn't really matter if you use all the components in one single configuration for as long as possible, like in the same device, or if you just use the individual components as long as possible.
All right, so what possibilities do we have here at Prime Computer? How do we start using that?
So the key actually to this and how we introduced circular modularity is this credit card sized card. It's called an Intel Compute element. And on this element, you have the processor, the CPU, the integrated graphics card, the GPU, but also the Wi-Fi and the RAM, and some other components that make the magic happen. And the really cool thing about this is it is modular. To make it completely green IT, we also have to have a plan for the elements that we took out of the original device.
And can you tell me a little bit more about our plan, what we do with that?
Yeah, so we will take back. So we have a program to take back these elements, and then we will reuse it with new. With new products that have the original warranty and are actually as new, because this has no wear and tear. So
we will remanufacture that product?
You can say we will remanufacture that product.
Okay.
So for example, you can then just remanufacture it into a new notebook with an older generation of CPU and GPU and RAM, that can be sold a little bit cheaper, but still has all the performance you need for this specific use case.
But we have something more in mind. So we are developing further products where actually we can use or reuse or initially use those elements. Give us an example of what we are doing here at Prime Computer.
Yeah, that's actually a great point, because to make this whole concept work, we have to find use cases for these older elements. Of course, there will be use cases to put it into a notebook, but we see actually more opportunities with use cases in different products, in different product categories. What we have here, I mean, this is just a prototype, but I think it's already looks cool if you know what it is about. So this housing that goes around this assembly with the element is 3D printed.
3D printed.
So this is already a nice feature, because you can manufacture it locally.
Yes.
So that means you save some. It's environmental friendly because the supply chains are shorter. So this is one of the advantages of 3D printing.
Out of what material is it 3D printed?
Yeah, that's the next step, or why it's especially interesting to talk about this device.
Yes, please.
Because this is made out of a filament. So this material, how you call it, the material you 3D print things out. This is plant-based.
Really?
So, and plant-based means it's from a renewable source. So you don't have to mine any resources that are not renewable, like you need for aluminium or for iron and whatsoever. So this is actually a great impact that you have already on the product level, or not on the product level, on the material level. You have a renewable material, and there's a cool feature that comes with it.
Yes.
Is that because it is plant-based, it is biodegradable.
It's 100% biodegradable.
It's 100% biodegradable.
Perfect.
We even have the ISO certificate for it. So it doesn't mean that you can throw it in your backyard. So you need like an industrial grade biodegradable plant where there is about 60 degrees, because I mean, if it's just biodegradable in your backyard, then it won't last as long as PC housing. So we have to make sure it meets this quality as well. But in an industrial-sized biodegradable plant, perfectly fitting.
Amazing. But there are potentially further products we are developing where we could use those elements in.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about mini PCs, which can offer a variety of different use cases, and we talk about the housing, there are a lot of opportunities. So we are already looking into making it out of wood.
Out of wood.
I mean, we are in early stage there, but there are just so many interesting ideas that we can make through actually with this underlying platform of this circular modularity and with the elements.
And all our products are 100% climate neutral as well.
That's exactly. And now what we can do, because with these elements, it is really, or it is possible to also cool them fanless, so passively cool them. So we can combine these two approaches. We can combine the circular modularity with the fanless design that we already have. So we are working, this will be one of our next products, on a fanless mini PC that features this element, that features circular modularity. And then you really combine everything and you open up new use cases, as we said, with this dirt resistance or dust resistance and the enhanced reliability, no mechanical parts at all. So this is really interesting, and it's a combination of two good things.
Just amazing. Thank you, Finn. Just tell me at last, so we have which 3 products, for instance, do we intend to have in this year in our circular baseline?
So we already launched the PrimeBook Circular.
Yes.
So this was a super important step for us in general, because with the circular modularity we were able to offer a notebook and still keep it green, or make it probably even greener with the circular modularity. And what you can expect this year already as well are mini PCs that are in this circular modularity portfolio. So the 3D printed one will become a reality. And as I said, the fanless one with the element is also in a later stage of development.
Perfect.
And some of the other ideas I teased, they might come true this year or maybe next year.
Okay, thank you so much for that. It was a really pleasure to see all that happening and to show everybody where we intend to go further in our circular modularity case.
Yeah, thank you for asking.